it's always good to drop in on someone who knows fuck all about business when we're talking about the business of the country. And here's Maria Bartiromo, who I guess she was late to work and she's been fucking Paddington Bear, so she just threw on whatever hat was there and ran out the door. And also, I don't know who this dude is, but whatever. It says, Trump is about to take America by storm, GOP rep declares. Meanwhile, the stock market is at 37,662. It's going to hit 38K, and which is hell for them. So, but this is, she's talking about Vivek dropping out, and Trump's going to kick ass and kick names and take ass, right?
Alford, Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to Iowa?
Yeah, it's great. So good.
Well, Maria, this was a resounding victory. This was a Trump slide, if you will, instead of a landslide. This is a
Jesus Christ. Trump slide sounds bad. It sounds like he's doing poorly. Actually, it's a great phrase for this. Trump slide works.
Trumpicane. President.
A Trumpicane? Okay. Try harder, please. Just try harder.
Trump is about to take America by storm.
Yeah, and that's what America needs right now as it's reeling from storms all across the region is more storms.
This is further proof that this is the person, this is the man that we need in the Oval Office, someone who can sit behind that resolute desk
and fart a hole in that old wooden chair.
And be a resolute leader. He is showing stamina. He's going to...
Well, I wouldn't say that. We just watched his speech. And if you have to say stamina right out of the gate, it's obviously because someone gave you a note.
Be back in court today and then on to New Hampshire. He is not letting up.
He's showing stamina because he's going to be back in court today. He doesn't have to be in court at all.
He is going full throttle, and I know he's showing a stark contrast between himself and the feckless, flailing president who is now in the Oval Office.
Oh, you mean the guy who has kept unemployment below 4% for the longest stretch in 70 years now, I think it is. I think that's where we are currently. And actually passed an infrastructure bill and actually got us out of Afghanistan? You mean that guy?
Well, Congressman, I want to get your take on the business at hand in the Congress. House Speaker Mike Johnson reportedly told lawmakers that he opposes the Senate border deal. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford has been negotiating this deal. He's encouraging everybody to read the bill before they judge it, saying people...
Yeah, but Republicans don't do that. Are you nuts?
People should not believe everything they read on the internet. But we've got the details here. What he's referring to is the Immigration Accountability Project. Somebody leaked a draft version of the bill and warned that it would increase green card handouts to $50,000 a year, give work permits to every illegal release from custody.
We used to have like 112,000 green card allocations a year. Something like that. Like in the 90s, I want to say. Fuck, I have to go look that shit up now. Let's see. Okay, sorry. I was way off. Hold on. Say this again.
Leaked a draft version of the bill and warned that it would increase green card handouts to $50,000 a year.
One second. I mean, at this point, I don't even know. I don't even know what, like this, do you do any of the reading? Am I the only one that does any of the homework? Any of it? Fucking any of it. 50,000, you say?
Work permits to every illegal release from custody. Congressman, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, if they're going to be released from custody, they've qualified for parole or during their asylum claim or for actual asylum, so they can go to work right away.
Deal where apparently you've got to have 5,000 illegals come into America before you actually have new regulation on immigration.
What? Also, say that again, dumb fuck. Explain that point to us all. How does that work again? And look at the look on her fucking face. You feel like she's maybe aware that she's misreading or spitballing this, or is just completely full of shit?
America before. Apparently, you've got to have 5,000 illegals come into America before you actually have new regulation on immigration.
Well, I guess we qualify. We've had over 5,000 done.
Maria, this deal is dead on arrival in the U.S. House of Representatives.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. If Johnson puts it to the floor, there's enough Democrats and crossover Republicans to pass it. It doesn't even, it needs like 80, you dumb fucks.
First off, they should have been negotiating with Mike Johnson. They shouldn't have been doing this behind closed doors in the U.S. Senate.
Why? What part of the House bill is a no-go? They already saw what the House wants or will pass. So they came up with their own because it won't. The House bill wouldn't pass the Republicans in the Senate. So the Senate started working on their own. They can actually get passed through the Senate, and then they send it back down to the House, and the House can fucking take it or leave it.
We passed H.R. 2 more than 7 months ago, and they've been...
Right, and everybody went, you're out of your fucking mind. No, we're not going to seal the border. That's not even a thing.
And sitting on it. It has a remain in Mexico policy. It reforms our asylum. It gives a raise to our border patrol agents. It finishes the wall that Trump started.
Right, and that's the other thing, too, is because all that does is build more access road for the construction that makes it easier for immigrants to go around the fucking wall.
This is a non-starter.
And by the way, there is no finishing the wall. There's private land and native land that buttresses right up against Mexico. You can't build a fucking wall on it unless you use, I guess, eminent domain. But even then, you're talking about like sovereign Indian territory or private land. Explain, in Texas land, I might add. Explain how you're going to work that shit out.
We don't need a Band-Aid approach to the national border security crisis this Biden.
Okay, increases green cards by 50,000 a year. Okay, so there you go. So it adds 1,050,000 instead of just 1 million green cards. Work permits for adult children of H-1B holders. Okay, so if you're here on a work visa, and these are like, the folks that, you need for tech jobs and stuff, their kids can get work permits if they're old enough to work. Immediate work permits to every illegal alien released from custody. If they qualify, and again, they're not illegal at that point. They either have reached, they're being adjudicated for asylum, so they're not technically illegal at that point, but whatever. Taxpayer-funded lawyers to certain UACs and mentally incompetent aliens. Yeah, I don't know why we don't just take the people who are clearly mentally challenged and just spin them around a few times and point them towards Mexico and hope they get run over by a fucking car. What would Jesus do? Expulsions authority for a limited number of days, only if encounters exceed 5K over 7 days. Yeah, so all right. So if it exceeds 5K because you can't handle them or whatever, then you automatically kick people out. And basically that keeps Mexico from allowing a border buildup to happen. That has nothing to do with how many people cross, because not all those people are going to be allowed in. These are encounters. And by the way, exceed 5K a day over 7 days. It's during the heightened part. That basically just gives the president extra powers to tighten the border around the times of the year where there's a spike in crossings, which is what they would want. It's so weird. Restrict parole for those who enter without authorization between ports of entry. Why would you bury that at the end? That seems like something you'd want.
Administration created. We need a tourniquet before our nation bleeds to death with
We're not bleeding to
illegal immigration.
We're not bleeding to death with illegal immigration. I mean, for fuck's sake, Trump hires them to work at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, there's supposed to be a Senate procedural vote on a short-term continuing resolution today to fund the government past Friday's deadline. Otherwise, we are expecting a partial government slowdown. Without an agreement on timing, this process could take us all the way up until Sunday, which does mean a partial shutdown. What are you expecting?
Well, look, there may be enough votes.
Well, look.
To get this through, I am a no on a continuing resolution. I told you this summer, as I was talking with then the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, I was good for one CR, and I did my duty to help get that passed back in August. Since then, Maria, we have wasted 120.
Why do you have to? Why is that written on a? Do you have that in your office? Do you squeegee it off and change it every day? You're an idiot. You're in charge of the House. No one else is wasting their fucking time. You're wasting everyone's time.
5 days in Congress. That's the time that they have sent us home, where we could have been working on getting these appropriation bills done. We have 4 left. We're almost there, over the hump. And yet we're not getting our job done. Why is that? And why is no border?
You're lazy? I'm going to go with lazy. I'm going to go with you're all lazy and some of you are stupid. How about that? I mean, everything else would just be an excuse.
Security
honestly.
bill attached to the continuing resolution. This is unacceptable. To keep kicking this can down the road, I won't be a part of it.
Yeah, other people will vote for it. It won't matter. You know, you'll just become kind of a pointless rubber stamp. It won't affect anything.
So what happened? The Republicans took the whole border leverage off the table?
Well, we were hoping that it would be on there. Just 2 weeks ago, we were down on the border, 60 of us, including Mike Johnson. We were
Really? You weren't in D.C. working on bills?
hoping that some sort of border security would be attached to this continuing resolution, at least to give it some gumption that the American people could
Gumption? Oh.
swallow, because we know
Who swallows gumption? I think that's bad. I think it stays in your stomach for like 7 years.
that not just is our national debt an existential threat to our nation, but so is this illegal migration, the illegal alien situation that the Biden administration has created. Some 8.5 million illegal aliens into our sovereign nation.
Yeah, but they don't all stay. As a matter of fact, the majority of them are immediately rejected.
If these are not attached, I think it's going to be a
Most important issue: immigration, economy, jobs, foreign policy, healthcare. Oh, yeah.
starter for a lot of Republicans.
Okay. And then, of course, there are 2 wars that we're all watching, death and destruction. The U.S.
Yeah, we are. That's why I watch. I don't watch to see how it happens or what the value systems are that are at war there. Just the big booms. That's why I like.
Navy has announced that it has seized Iranian weapons that were headed for Yemen. There's been at least 30 attacks of commercial vessels by Houthi rebels since November 19th in the Red Sea. 137 attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria since October 17th, Congressman. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was released from the hospital yesterday. 24 of those attacks happened while Austin was actually hospitalized.
Fuck does that mean? What do you think? Everybody in the fucking theater just stood down and waited? We can't. He's in the shitter right now. Wait till he gets out of the bathroom and then he'll tell us how to react.
He says he's now working remotely. What should we think about potential?
The entire Pentagon works remotely. We don't move the fucking Pentagon to the war zone. I'm just saying.
Responses here to the Iranian-backed militia groups. Your thoughts on these attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East?
Well, this is more of a show of weakness from the Biden administration, just like
How so?
Like he did with Afghanistan, just like he did with Putin, like he's doing with Xi Jinping.
Afghanistan? We're not in Afghanistan.
This weakness does not.
Also, Xi Jinping, Jesus Christ. All right, this is the one side where you guys fucking know that it makes me crazy. The Biden put out an executive order. I think it was in, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have it in this shit. Hold on. Search in here. Is it in my quick notes? I think so. Oh, this is one of them. Hold on. That guy right there, it's pretty funny. Where are we going? America's unhappiest people. This is the people. Yeah, this is an article about the economic vibes and the disconnect between how people are doing. Where the fuck did it go? Trans Iowan reveals it. Okay, it's this page. There we go. This guy. Rows of new residential buildings in Xiong'an. Xi's empty dream city shows limits of his power even in China. China's doing great right now. Also, hold on. Yeah, let me do it. It'll be up here. Hold on. I'll have to make this up here. There's so much going on. Okay. Gotta do this. This will be in the news. I think. The hold on. Biden sent delegation to Taiwan. Biden China, Taiwan. EVs. Motherfucker. Hold on. All right. It's on. I know it's in there. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. It's gonna drive me crazy, but give me a second. Go back to here. This guy right here, and then go. And then you need to do a search. Motherfucker. Where are you, tit? Because I tweeted it on X earlier today. I'm going to find it. It's going to drive me crazy. But I'm going to find it. I don't care. Okay, hold on. All right, grumble. 1 second. Screw it. I'm going straight to my my own X feed because I hate doing that because it's a terrible way to find what I'm looking for, but it's there and we'll just deal. Okay, 3, 2, 1, bang, and then we go to my page, and then we go to here, and then whoops, where are we? My page. Oh, hold on. Where's this? We'll go to here. I jumped in with a bunch of people dealing with the, yeah, there we go. Yep. This is the story that I'm talking about. Unprecedented in its scope is Business Week. That's why I couldn't find it. I tried to look for it in Bloomberg. My ass. I'm sorry. It's like I get those guys mixed up. It's a little silly. But there you go. U.S. is weaponizing new economic tools to slow China's war machine, is the article. Yeah, here it is. That's why I said, there you go. There you go. And we'll drag it down here. There we go. U.S. is weaponizing new economic tools to slow China's war machine. First came tariffs last August, Executive Order 14105. President Joe Biden directed the Department of Treasury to draw up rules banning U.S. investments in entities suspected of helping to develop the next generation of weaponry for China's war machine. Soon, probably in the next few months, that ban will go into effect. This won't be the first time America has throttled the flow of capital to China. Both Trump and Biden prohibited U.S. investors from buying a range of publicly traded securities with military ties. But in its scope, potentially encompassing any Chinese company or organization, public or private, involved in semiconductors, quantum computing, or artificial intelligence. EO 14105 has no precedent. It covers vast swaths of the economy and effectively aims to asphyxiate entire industries key to China's capabilities on the battlefield and in cyberspace. I honestly do not know what the ever-loving fuck these assholes are talking about.
Invite a victory for the United States and our interest in our allies. It invites.
Oh my God, look how many people are there. It's like that crowd goes on forever. How would we ever compete with a military force of that size once they get more than 35 feet away from the aircraft or wherever they are?
It's bullies like Iran, Islamic terrorists, to continue to fund.
Is that Vivek? I'm kidding.
Groups like Hamas and the Houthis to take advantage, disrupt our economic situation through that.
First of all, did that guy just come from the dentist? Yikes. Yeah, honest to God, it looks like he has his phone strapped to his head in that thing.
Part of the nation, the world. And we don't need a Secretary of State who's. And
have they all, oh, okay. Do they all have like kratom or whatever the fucking drug is in their cheek right now? They've all got that wad of that, basically their version of Pervitin.
Part-time. Look, I pray for the healing of Secretary of Defense Austin, but I think it's time for him to go. He has not shown trustworthiness in concealing his cancer diagnosis, especially from the President of the United States. Look, I'm not surprised that the president did not know where Secretary of Defense was for several days. I don't think the president knows himself where he is half the time. But that is not an excuse. We need a secretary.
All right, asshole. They have been dealing with all this shit as professionally and as logically as anybody possibly could. And the idea that Austin, by the way, would announce that he was ill in the middle of the attacks that are happening, and that wouldn't provoke what was going on there. This whole like fucking shuffle about how they didn't know and they were, you know, he hid his diagnosis or whatever when they were just keeping it on the down low, and now you motherfuckers have to make a big show of it.
Secretary of Defense who
Biden absolutely knew. Everybody absolutely knew. They just hadn't reported it because these assholes would leak it to our, because they don't like him, they would leak it.
Can do the job and show strength on the world stage.
By the way, prosecuting the strategy of a military response like the one we saw in Yemen from your hospital bed while you are in there because of a cancer diagnosis is kind of strong as hell.
Well, I mean, you make a good point. If, in fact, they were having meetings.
Oh, shut up, Paddington.
On all of these attacks on U.S. forces since October 17th, they would have noticed that Defense Secretary was not in the room.
Yeah, it's pretty self-evident. But here's the deal, Maria. I don't think Joe Biden's running the White House.
All right, fuck off.
I think someone else is. I think he has checked out. If you look at him on video and listen to him talk, he is clearly not present. Whoever's running the White House needs to get their head out, and they need to make sure that our nation is defended, our allies are defended.
Yeah, we are doing that. That is happening.
And we can truly make America great again. That's not going
to... We are. We're doing that. It's just bullshit.
Going to happen, unfortunately, unless we get...
By the way, all the while that this chip off a chunk of shit is talking, look at this whole Goldman Sachs thing. I think I've told you guys that $5 trillion worth of monetary exchange goes through the Goldman Sachs accounts every day. $5 trillion in exchanges of currency and sales and the purchases of companies and all kinds of like goods and services and all that kinds of shit goes through the coffers of Goldman Sachs every day, every fucking day. And meanwhile, underneath it, Goldman Sachs EPS beats estimates. 5.40 versus 351. Like this is it. This which it gave. I guess this is that number being bigger than this the fuck out of here.
President Trump back in the White House.
Okay, Congressman, we'll be watching.
To do what? Project strength? With what? He's going to wag his nunt at somebody? He's going to let Putin actually, like, go nuts deep this time? What are you talking about?
That.
That was the end of it. I'm never going to get an answer to my question at this rate. Good Lord. The other thing, too, is just kind of like this overt butchiness of the whole thing. Yikes. Okay.